You're listening to In Response, a legacy podcast. A show where three handsome guys talk about their favorite Magic the Gathering format, Legacy. This show is brought to you by createness@anycost.com and austrian-legacy.com. You can support the show at patreon.com/response_legacy. And now, lean back and enjoy.
Hello everyone and welcome to the 28th episode, Tendrils, etc. of
In Response,
a legacy podcast.
I'm Philip Klein.
I am Daniel.
And I'm Peter Plank.
And we're talking about legacy.
Most of the time.
So for this episode we have a very, very special guest for you. It's Benedikt Gruber, also known as Sanitoeter on Magic Online. Hello Benedikt, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, that's great. That's great. For everyone who doesn't know Benedikt, he's the owner, or the how do you say this? The founder of the Proxy Legacy tournament in Freising. Mm-hmm. That's in Bavaria, in Germany. So Benedikt, tell us something about you. How did you get to play a Legacy at first?
So actually, I started off like most of the players, I think, back in school. I started in 5th grade when I was like 10 years old, and some dude had these Magic cards in class, and I got curious, and then like I started buying those and playing on the kitchen table, and also like most.
It's a classic.
Yeah, also like most people, I stopped playing around like 16ish, I guess. And then, so I didn't play any competitive at that point, just kitchen table. And later, when I moved for my studies to Paderborn, I found this group. They were playing in the university, and they were actually playing some real Magic, and they were just playing Legacy.
I find it great that you called it real Magic.
Yeah, so let's say competitive Magic, not every Magic is real, I guess. And so if I wanted to play with them, I had to get into Legacy, and that's how I got into Legacy.
Mm-hmm. And what was your first deck that you played?
My first deck was actually Tendrils.
Let me guess. Okay, I wanted to say Devon, Texas.
No.
Nice deck.
Some dude had a couple of decks actually with him, and he was the guy responsible for building the combo part of the group. Because nobody wanted to play Storm, and that's why he built it. But he did actually enjoy playing that, and that's why he just put it over to me and said, "Play this." That's how I got into Legacy with Storm.
So,
which year was it actually?
It was 2014 when I got back into Magic.
was it the era when Gitaxian Probe was still legal?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That was,
Yeah,
it was
that's
also with still with Census Dividing Top.
Nice, yeah. This is also the first versions of Storm that I played back in the days. I remember that I started to play Storm also, I think, just after Top was banned, I think. But I got to play with Gitaxian Probe for a little bit.
Well, Top got banned in 2017 around, right?
Yeah.
So basically, I had 3 years ahead of that, and was enjoying the Miracles versus Storm with Counter Top.
I think this was a great matchup, a very interesting one.
Was Ant playing Top?
Yeah.
Itself?
Yeah, for sure.
Was it just the best thing you can do?
I mean,
probably.
What I remember, I don't know which year it was, but Rodrigo Togores won a GP in Prague once, and he played one top in the main and one in the sideboard.
Okay.
I don't know if this was the standard configuration, but that's just what I saw and the list that I remember.
Peter is really astonished at the moment.
It was back in the far old times.
Okay.
He
But
couldn't
anyways,
imagine
so
anything like this.
actually you played a really difficult Storm deck as your first Legacy deck.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Was this difficult, or did you just learn and knew at the start what to do with the deck?
Like, I had a general idea how the deck worked. Like, I wasn't a total newbie to competitive Magic. I wasn't really, like, I wasn't playing, but like sometimes watching Pro Tours and stuff. So I had a general idea how like Magic worked and like how Storm worked. But like the basic lines are obviously, like, most of the time Pass and Flames. That's just counter 10 and you're good. But like a few like of the complex lines, you need to play the deck to get to know these. I think
For sure, yeah.
I think you know that very well.
At least last time it worked out quite well. Yeah.
Talking about last time.
Yeah.
So Benedikt, why don't you tell us about your tournament series that you plan? I think it's each month now, or every 5 weeks, in Freising at the Etc. Tell us something about it.
So yeah, we are currently 7 people who are co-hosting that, each one with different responsibilities. I would consider myself like the project manager of the whole thing, just like keeping a general idea of what's going on, and like distributing different tasks around. And so we are hosting tournaments about every 6 weeks, so 1.5 months each. And yeah, so we restarted this year around, I think, July, something like that, and it has just exploded in participants.
Yeah, I think so, because in general, due to these difficult times of Corona, it was one of the first events in the near Central Europe concerning Legacy where people actually could attend for a long period of time to play paper Legacy, and especially with the added bonus of proxy cards being allowed that you make with this tournament. So I think this is very much one of the reasons why it's very popular around this area.
Yeah, I guess so. We only started with proxies, by the way, since the middle of this year. So basically, when reopening the tournament series, we allowed proxies.
Okay, so basically, before that, you didn't allow them. You made everything sanctioned, or what kind of thing?
We weren't sanctioned at all.
Okay.
But we just didn't allow proxies in before Corona.
Yeah, I mean, if we look back 1 year or something like that, the prices weren't that concerning for newcomers. I mean,
Yeah,
they were concerning.
nearly as bad as they are now. I mean, everyone just how do you say that? Everyone was just always upset because they were so high, but now they are so far out of reach for a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of cards have doubled or even tripled in prices, and it's just insane to get into. If I look back, it's example because I bought the LEDs last year. It's insane.
It's your favorite example.
Yeah, it's my favorite example. I bought the playset English LED for 500 last year in March or February, and today the same playset will cost you for about 1.5k. So it's tripling in prices. And if you want to get into Legacy, for example, playing at Nauseam Tendrils or another combo variant with an LED, you need a few Underground Sea, you need the LED, and we're looking about, you look at the 3 Underground Sea and the 3 LED or the 4 LED, and you're looking for 3.5 to 4k. And last year you got for 3k the whole deck.
Yeah.
So it's insane getting into Legacy at this point.
But these aren't just the reserved list cards that are rising so high in the prices. I think, Benedikt, you're also allowing proxies of recent sets. Am I right?
Yeah, so we have no restrictions on proxies, neither the number or just reserved list, for example. So because like we wanted to get an impression of how people will react to proxies allowed, and how like what cards they want to proxy. And actually, most cards we see proxied are Ragavans and Urza Saga.
I can totally imagine this.
That's actually also what I wanted to ask you, how many people are actually taking proxies with them. And I also had the feeling that the reserved list cards are the miser ones of them, actually. It seems that they're really the let's say, unstable cards in terms of price and value are the ones that the people want to proxy.
And the ones that will maybe get banned in the future.
Yeah. It seems like it.
Yeah, so we made a chart on the first proxy event to get an impression how many proxies were used. And if I remember correctly, there were 13 people out of 31 who were using at least one proxy. So that's around about 1/3 were using a proxy, at least one proxy at the event.
That's not even that high, actually.
But I think I remember that you had some questions for the attendees at the beginning. I don't know if you asked this question, but out of these 13 people, do you know if those people would have attended the event if proxies were not allowed?
Yeah, so we actually asked that question along with do you use proxies? And all of them said they would have attended the event even if proxies weren't allowed.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So it's just increasing the possibility for them for which decks they will play, but not the overall interest in a Legacy tournament.
Yeah, kind of. I like even that 13 of the 13 people said they would have attended even if proxies weren't allowed. I still think the overall interest in events, in our events, is increasing with the allowance of proxies, because it's just like the range of our event, like let's say to Austria, for example, I think has increased with like the news of the proxies being allowed at our event.
Yeah, for sure. It was something that was unique for us, that proxies are allowed. And we thought, yeah, it's just not that far away. And we wanted to look into the tournament and how it is. Because, yeah, we are allowing proxies for our tournament structure ourselves. But in a far more strict way, to say. Because, yeah, I mean, it's not allowed for to come to your tournament with 75 islands proxied to be a full burn deck. But for us, it's, we have our proxies. We made our proxies. We gave it away in our community that they can play it. So, yeah.
Yeah, we are far more strict. But that is also... that also happened because we had a little bit of a harsh opposition at first. So what was the feeling in your community regarding the proxies? Was it almost instantly welcomed, or did you have some
bad responses?
Bad responses here, yeah.
It was totally split. So we had, on the one hand, we had those, for sure, proxies are the way to play Legacy. And on the other hand, we had those who, like, I don't want to play with you if you have to proxy a deck kind of people. I think every community has those kinds. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it also was like in our organization, we had a rough fight about allowing proxies or not. and we were at this point in time we were only 6 people, so there was a split 50-50 possible. And
oh my
of
God.
course we were split 50-50. And yeah, so we had a long discussion, like over 2 months, I think, if we should allow proxies, and then we went for this test, and it was a total success, and that's why we stuck with that.
Okay, that seems great. Yeah, because we experienced pretty much exactly the same
It
thing.
seems it's yeah.
I mean, the proxy
Similar.
topic was around for, I think, 2 years.
2 years, yeah. We talked about it 2 years ago. And that was the first time I wanted to bring it up, and I got totally smacked down for just the thought of allowing proxies.
Okay.
I mean, and we had some anti-proxies hardline in our community ourselves.
We still have them.
I mean, do we still?
Yeah, we still have them.
Okay, but most of them, if you play proxy, it's not good because the game is not the same, but the game is actually the same, and most of them are now they're using proxies, whatever.
That's what I want to know now from you, Benedikt. Are these hardliners? Maybe there were some people like in our group who just said at first they will refuse to play or won't come anymore, and neither of that happened. And had it happened in your community?
That's actually hard to say because, from our group, those who were against proxies, at least one of them couldn't make it to any of our tournaments so far where proxies were allowed. He always had different responsibilities. And so there weren't that many contact points between those proxy opponents and the proxies themselves at the event so far. But I think they're here to stay just because the events are getting so huge, and most of the people I've talked to, they're totally fine with proxies, and also the way we are enforcing proxies. Our rules, for example, say that they ideally have to come out of a color printer, so that they are somewhat like an actual card, and not written, as you said, an island that represents a burn deck. So, and that was a huge point for me, that the proxies are somewhat
recognizable,
not ugly. That's basically the point. But other than that,
because it defeats the purpose of the game.
Yeah, but other than that, I think that's totally fine. If you wanna, you don't need to restrict to reserve these cards, for example, because there are other cards that people just don't have or don't want to buy. And I think that's fine if they want to proxy that.
And I think just your kind of rule allowing basically your whole 75 to be proxed, and the actual result of just a few people proxying just a few cards just resembles the idea that this won't, at least not, accelerate into a snowball that's just only people come to an event with only proxies, which I think the proxy offenders would actually fear. So in that sense, it works out fine.
That's the biggest issue from the hardliners all the time.
But anyways, we talked about proxies of your tournament. What we want to know now is, what is the tournament in general about? This is maybe you could tell us a little bit of how the event that you host in Freising at Day, etc., just takes place, and what the general what can people expect when they attend to your events? So
we try to make a tournament just for the community. So we don't profit ourselves from that. So that's the first thing I think people should know. We are doing this to have legacy tournaments because we all love legacy, and you guys probably know this because there aren't that many legacy tournaments around, even pre-COVID times.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And so we have the intention of doing just a very casual tournament, not in a sense of like sloppy play or something, but just like everyone has to feel welcome and like to have a good time. And like we have this bar, I'd say, restaurant, something in between, where we have our weekly meetings actually to play, and that's how we got to the location. And in general, I think like you guys can probably answer that better than me, but I think in general the place is quite welcoming, and like to have a like a casual good afternoon of playing Legacy.
That we in Austria would refer to a gemütliche Sturm, which
That's also like I'm familiar with the term.
which I have no fucking idea how to translate it into English, but it's just an awesome,
A cozy place where you can just
cozy
hang out
place,
with your friends.
Okay.
so we have a direct translation for this.
The restaurant is really nice. I find it great that the one drink or the voucher is in the
Entry.
Is in the entry. Yeah, that was a really great idea, and yeah, I really liked it there.
We actually did that voucher thing because people were starting to bring their own drinks.
Oh,
And-
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also like we don't pay anything for the room, so it's totally free. That's props to the etc. Because like they just want to have they just want us to have a good time, and we want to give something back because like we don't pay anything, and that's like the bare minimum what we can do is to force you guys to drink their beverages and not bring your own. And that's why we introduced that €5 voucher, because people were starting to bring their own drinks, and we just wanted to just like guide them in the right direction.
I always like it when you can play Legacy and drink beer. That's simply awesome.
Yeah, I think this is a very good idea, and it's actually amazing for me that you say that you actually get to use it for free. I didn't expect it.
Yeah, it's a huge place. You've got 2 floors, and you have room for 64 people, I think.
Yeah, it gets cozy. It gets cozy with 64, but I think we can fit 64.
Yeah.
So, do you think you will hit this milestone anytime?
Well, I didn't expect to hit 32 in the first place, so I want to say no, but I was proven wrong the last time, so.
And you will get proven wrong the next time, hopefully. So, speaking of the future, what are your thoughts or your plans for the future with the proxy tournaments in Freising?
So yeah, we of course will continue with proxies and 64 players max. That's like 6 rounds of Legacy. We have some plans for next year. Like I can spoiler some of them, I guess.
This would be nice.
Oh yeah, spoiler season.
Yeah, it will be between us 4. Yeah.
Yeah, we won't tell anybody.
So these are not like definite. This is coming in this way. I'm describing that. That's just like the general ideas that I'm having and we are having. So I have to be clear that most of those are just my thoughts and not like I'm not speaking for the whole organization here. So I'd like to have a just end of the year event where the best players throughout the year are qualified to participate free of cost. So basically you earn your title as best legacy player of etc. Freising tournaments, for example. That's something I'd like to have. And Like the general ideas of that is like have every tournament winner maybe invited, and then fill up to a reasonable amount, let's say 16 people or something, just of the best performing players throughout the year.
That sounds really great, actually.
So you have the King of Bavaria or something like that.
The king of the god of Bavaria, like the god of Legacy in Tokyo, I think.
In Tokyo, yeah.
It's a
Well,
god of
not
Bavaria.
exactly, but like something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, it would be an awesome idea.
This sounds like kind of a league of some sort, actually, where it is for a whole year or season, actually, that you have a leaderboard with points or something like that. Would you go that far, or just, I don't know, have an extra event and you have your data where, I don't know, the best performing players are invited and that's it? Or would you go even bigger and make a whole league out of it, for example?
Well, I don't think that a league is feasible, actually. So what I'm imagining is like we have our, let's say 11 events. 11 is probably a little bit much. Let's say 7 events throughout the year. That's around about every 6 weeks and just some buffer in between. So I think 7 is reasonable. And like all of the tournament winners. So you basically can spike a tournament or perform really well throughout the year. That's how, like I'd imagine something like that, and just the end of the season invitational, let's say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, invitationals are always great. I love them.
And also, like,
I mean,
I'm tracking the ELO performance for every attendee of our event. So that's how.
Okay, that's cool. I really like it.
So you guys also have some performance indicators.
So do you have the ELO ready?
I can quickly look it up.
Because my ELO should be nearly the same as my starting ELO, because I went 2-1 in the first tournament to 3-3 in the second.
But how do you actually track ELO? Is there a... I think there's
For
a
chess, there is a formula.
Yeah, for chess, but is it convertible to
Magic, yeah.
To Magic?
I can quickly explain if you want.
Yeah, this would be nice.
Okay, so basically how ELO works is you have a starting value, that's 1500 in our case, but it doesn't matter actually what the starting value is. It's just a given value. And how it works, you have the difference in ELO between you and your opponent that translates into a expected win rate, and the higher this expected win rate is, the less points you get if you actually are winning. And that's done with math in the background. That's actually very simple math. And so what I did, I made a Excel sheet, and like I have the calculations in there, and I'm tracking each and every match that is being played at our tournament.
Okay, that sounds great. We can ask Alexander if he can.
Yeah, I thought about the same, because we have the Austrian Legacy League, and we have a leaderboard with all the just win points added up, and win rates and average win percentages, for example, for all our players. But an ELO system would actually feel a little bit nicer.
The problem why WotC has gone away from the ELO system was that really high-rated players haven't attended any more low-rated tournaments like Friday Night Magics or locals, because of the fear that they would lose too much of their ELO rating versus not so good players. Yeah. And I think you probably need both if you want to do something like that. In our special case, like you can't simply just use the ELO for the leaderboard for the season, because if you have high ELO, then you probably won't come to any FNM anymore, and then you don't have then we don't have that much attendance that we want.
Could be.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if like let's go back to our invitational, let's say we're planning.
That's There it makes total sense. Yeah.
So let's assume you have like 11 invites, or let's say whatever. So you have 11 slots that go into the ELO rating. So the 12th player will for sure attend the next tournament because he wants to get in the top 11 or top 10 or whatever. And therefore the other players on the top seed will also need to attend because they need to like further their lead. And that could lead to some like very interesting results that players are just competing for these top slots.
Especially with the spiking players also already being invited, because if you spike one event, you're already in, and your ELO should be quite high as well.
Yeah,
and
so
they are already excluded.
I don't actually have that high of a... Like, you can't actually get that much rating out of a single victory.
Okay.
That's by design.
Okay.
So you actually have to perform like over several events to get into the top 10, for example, right now.
Well, maybe we should talk about the ELO system a little bit more in detail when we have the time to do so.
Yeah, probably.
In a more separate, not right now, but separately.
Yeah, maybe there's a way to implement that.
Yeah.
Like, I did it just with the Excel sheet, and that's working perfectly fine.
Yeah, the calculation is really, really easy, because I watched a YouTube video.
You learned it in YouTube.
Yeah, I've watched a 50-minute Python compilation about letting all Pokemon trainers from Pokemon Red and Blue fighting against each other, and why you can't use the ELO rating in this case and have to use a different rating, because it would change too much in the rating between when the matches would happen.
Okay,
It's a
that's
really,
a
really
little
complex
bit weird and complex
video.
now.
But yeah, the problem with Magic and ELO is, for me, a little bit the randomness. For chess,
Check pile.
for chess, it's nearly 99% that, or more than 99% that the smarter player will win, and in Magic it is so that everyone can, or nearly can, win against everyone else. It depends on the matchup, on a little bit of luck,
Yep.
but also not regarding a lot of preparation and stuff like that. But you can always win against something. Like a newcomer can play versus Julian or someone else and is on, let's say, Mono Red Stompy, and just drops Chalice on 1, and Julian has a hand with Ponder, Brainstorm, Ragavan, Ponder in 2 lands.
Would you really hit this?
And then the game is over, basically. And
but like those games are always gonna happen also on the other way around. So
Yeah, that's true.
like
that's true.
I think that ELO is actually the least worst way to track someone's actual capability of taking down a tournament, because like if I'm looking at my own table, on the top there are always those players who you would assume going into the tournament blindly could take down the tournament. So it's not totally random, and also with an sufficient number of events, these ratings also reflect kind of what you are capable of.
Yeah, that's true.
It's also, I think if you would apply it for one single tournament only, it's just not representative. You need a little bit of statistics behind it, and then
if you have a lot of numbers, then it gets more
over time
real. Yeah.
Then I think, like I said, I'm also very fond of this idea. I like it very much.
Oh yeah, me definitely also. I really find it interesting, and maybe we'll find a way to implement this in our own
like
league.
in theory, those ratings you play at our tournament are comparable to the ratings that are played in the Austrian Legacy League, for example. And that's what's so great about ELO, that you can compare your skill with anyone's on the world, because
that's true.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
And something cool is if you have some if you think about us three or something like that, and we have a distinct ELO rating just for the Austrian Legacy League, and we have a distinct ELO rating in, for example, the Freising Proxy Legacy Tournament Series, you can compare the level of competition in each
different
region,
areas,
something like
yeah.
that. Because if we have, we have to say, if we have a high ELO rating in Freising, this means that the level in competition in Austria would be theoretically higher than in Freising.
Or the other way around.
Or the other way around, yeah.
Well, actually, it should always stay the same median, right? Because what you gain for rating, your opponent loses for rating. So
for sure.
Basically, you shouldn't split those two events. You should track them in the same table of ELO ratings, because then you guys could take ELO rating to Austria and vice versa.
Yeah.
Also, you would track, say, all the matches for a person, let's say, not for a league or for a tournament or event.
Just something like the ELO project, the MTGO project, just redefined for
Yeah, but
let's
that's
talk
a
together.
Real huge project then, and probably not
it would
workable.
be really big. We would have to talk theoretically to every legacy series in Austria, not in Austria, in Europe.
At least in Europe.
At least in Europe. And I mean, it would be a really cool project. But someone has to have the time for this.
I think we are drifting a little bit too far away here. Let's get back to the topic for the podcast. Like the listeners probably now aware of, we three played also in the last etc.
event.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, Peter, you went 2-1, you think? You said?
No, I went 3-3.
You went 3-3, so welcome to the club.
So I had the pleasure to getting the bye in the first round, which was a good win. Then I lost to how's it called? Hammer Time. Then lost to Doomsday with Painter. I know. Yeah, I really played this matchup shitty. Then I crushed Blue Red Delva. Then I lost to my nemesis Lance. I have no idea why this matchup is so hard for me, but I can't win it. And then crushed Delva again. And
And what deck did you play, actually?
I played Red-White Painter, and playing the controller out with 3 swords, 4 prismatic ending, and 5 red blasts against Delva feels like a sweet spot to be in.
That's true.
So let's talk about the next one that failed to get into the upper brackets.
Oh my gosh. I'm with you in the free club. I'm not sure. Actually, I lost the first round versus Mono Red Stompy. There's a meme because one of us is always driving 2 to 3 hours to play versus one of us. And this time it happened for me. So I played versus Florian. He went with us to Freising, and he totally crushed me. With his Mono Red Stompy. Then I'm not so sure what I played against in the second round, but I lost to it also.
You just don't remember your losses.
I just don't remember my losses. I just erased them out of my memory, and I think, that's okay. I don't need to learn from this. Then I won versus Grixis Control. Or Grixis Ragavan. I'm not so sure. They played Ragavan, but they were more of a Snapcaster Chase, Colorgan's Command route. Then I won against burn, and then I lost against the fourth placing player. He played blue red. How did he call it? Not stifle knot.
Strip knot.
Strip knot. He called it strip knot. Yeah, because he played the dress down, and dress down translates to stripping. Okay. And then I won versus Andreas Rehling on TES. And then I lost the last match versus Depths. I'm not so sure if I really lost the second round now.
Yeah, you were 3-3 in the
I
end.
wasn't counting, but all I had was I lost.
I think you lost your memory.
I lost my memory. Maybe I shouldn't have drank the free beer. I think.
Okay. It wasn't free, you paid for it, but...
Did you play Madness? I'm not sure.
No, this time I played.
Can't remember.
I played Phoenix.
Ah, yeah.
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Yeah, the Storm Phoenix build, the Burning Phoenix with Burning Wish and
Okay.
Bird Alive, and yeah, it's cool. It's still a cool deck. And you, Daniel, how did you fare in this tournament?
I think you weren't that well positioned in the tournament or something.
Well, actually, I didn't manage to win it all because
you fucking scrub you.
I was beaten by
scrubbed
Mark in
out.
the finals. But technically we drew, so we kind of shared second and first place. No, I really had a nice tournament in the last Freising event. I have to admit I had good matchups, or I won a little bit the matchup lottery. And for example, on the first round I played against Tess, but what I remember is it was not Andreas Rehling, by the way. I don't know what my opponent was, but I didn't show my opponent that I was playing Ant or Storm, let's say.
Was this the one? Yeah. After the first match, I had no idea what you're playing.
I cast, I think, the turn one Thoughtseize, and I took away one of his key pieces, and typically Tess doesn't play discard, so he couldn't ever look at my hands, and I just cantripped, and then I think what my Tess opponent was doing was he just jammed a little bit of mana, got Burning Wish into exactly what is it called? Peer from the Abyss?
Peer of the Abyss,
Peer, they cost 7 mana.
Yeah.
He tapped out for it, and I had the daze for it, and he was completely confused that he was just blown out by one single daze. So he had never thought that I was an Ant. And then on the
And he gave the matchup after this one.
No. We played the second game after matchups.
No. But he gave.
He scooped.
He
Yeah.
scooped.
Yep. He went all in on Peer, and I dazed it, and he couldn't pay
Is
for the
this a
daze.
Louis thing? Kind
No,
of to
I
do?
don't think so. He would.
No, to not show the deck of the opponent if you're unsure what it is. Something like this. Not playing into the days, but
What, a noobish thing? What do you mean?
yeah, you hadn't shown him that you were on Ant.
Yeah, why should I? This was the game one.
Because he gave up game one. You said.
No, I didn't give up. My opponent gave up.
Yeah, your opponent
he
gave up.
gave up. Yeah.
He gave up.
And he should have let you show your deck in game one.
That's what I meant. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. But I think he was completely sure that I was of some kind of control deck, and therefore I think he wanted to save some time,
Okay.
and therefore he just went to sideboarding. And
Okay.
Then
yeah,
he totally brought it into anti-control.
yeah. And I think I had a Wheel of Summer for the second game for a little bit of disruption from his side, and then I just stormed twice. And yeah, the next matchups were pretty easy. I played against Urine Enchantress and Devon Texas, which are both quite good matchups for Storm. Then in the fourth round, I played against this. Bene, you can actually tell me this name. I can't remember. It is this guy that plays this black pile.
Wurscht.
Yeah, exactly. That's the name.
Julian talked
I think
about this on
Yeah.
the Everyday Eternal.
You mean
With the Wushti pies.
The Wushti pie, yeah.
Wushti's Neo food pile.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I got lucky there. I'm not sure because, I mean, yeah, it is kind of slow and he has discard and of course the combo himself. But other than that, yeah, I kind of can do what I want in this matchup, something like that. So I won this also. And then I played against Julian in the 5th round. And then I won because of this new great addition to Ant, which is Aive Progenitor Ooze.
Aive.
Yes, I think I was almost dead. I think it was 1-1, and then it was the 3rd game, and I was almost dead. But I waited for, I don't know, for a few turns, and I think my opponent Julian had a Ragavan on the battlefield and an active Ursus Saga ready to get to tutor up an enchantment artifact, sorry. And all I could do was jam, Aive basically, because my life total was too low to cast Ad Nauseam. Usually, if you have enough life totals, you go for Ad Nauseam because it's more likely that you can actually win the same turn. But I thought about, should I go for Aive? Does he have any board clear sound thought? And I figured he would board out swords over Prismatic Endings.
Yeah.
And Prismatic Ending is actually not able to remove any of the Aive tokens because they all have CMC 5.
Yeah.
So I went for that. And Julian didn't know that actually. So
he said it on this podcast.
yes, I think he had 1 or 2
He had
prismatic.
2 prismatic endings.
And he thought, okay, I can handle this token, I can then handle this token, I have Ragavan, and I think 1 or 2 construct tokens, and then I can maybe cheese out a win or something because I was at 3 or 5 life or something like that. But I had 6 tokens in total of Aive, each bigger than the other one, so a 2/2 up to a 7/7.
Yeah.
And he wanted to cast Prismatic Ending. I said, okay, you can cast it, but
Nothing happens.
won't remove
So
it.
you gave him the rule.
Yeah. And
Spell is cast
then
and
he
it is dead.
realized, I'm sorry?
Spell is cast and spell is dead.
Yeah, of
I mean,
course,
it doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. But then he realized that he couldn't handle the clock, and in the end, then
It
also
doesn't
got
even
one.
matter.
I'm sorry.
In the end, it doesn't.
And then last but not least, I was up against Mark, Rick Vogt. He was on this 4-color control list with Expressive Iteration, I think Snapcaster Mage also.
Was he on loan too?
I didn't see any. Yeah, I think he was on loam. Yeah,
It is a
1 or 2 loans.
one of or 2 of loan
Yeah.
instead of the Sylvan Library
Exactly.
because you win whatever which matchup.
And I have to say he had the nuts for both games. He crushed me 2-0. I think he had 2 forces in game 1, and as it happens, I could play around 1 force, and I just died to the second one. And yes, I think this was that. And on the second game, I managed to strip away all the counter spells, Force of Negation, I think also Flusterstorm and another force. And I went for the most valuable things that you could do is just a Path in Flames line, but then my opponent Mark did have an endurance, a Miser endurance on top of his deck, which he brainstormed away, and he could get me, let's say, with his. I think it was a one of endurance.
Ouch, that hurts.
Yeah,
But yeah, congrats to your second place.
still happy about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really great. I mean, we were 46, or how many players we were this time? 46, yeah. So that's quite a great achievement here. And what I really love about this, that we all brought our hallmark decks, or how did you say
Our
this?
trademark decks.
Yeah, our
namesake.
trademark decks.
Our paddies.
Well, for me, technically, it's not the namesake deck
yeah, that's true.
because I'm mostly Yeah, originally I was more active in the modern part of Magic.
Yeah,
And there you were the
Yeah.
mid-range guy.
yeah.
But this is also a long time ago. Actually, Bene and me we are talking at my Discord channel a lot of the time about Chan.
It's actually funny
Yeah.
that we are both playing basically the
same
same
decks, yeah.
decks in Legacy and Modern.
I really am enjoying this. This is quite nice.
Yeah, it was for me and Andy Railing the opposite, because I think it was in 2019 I was exclusively playing Storm in Modern and Dredge or Manaless Dredge in Legacy, and Railing was playing exclusively Dredge in Modern and Storm or Ant in Legacy. So yeah.
I probably need to find my counterpart still.
What is the counterpart? Soul Sisters in Legacy and Phoenix in Modern?
Probably, I'm not sure. But it's so long ago that I played Modern.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you're into mid-range and modern, of course, of any of your listeners, I can also recommend to come to the channel. Bene is a really great John guy and very active there. I can really recommend him to listen to and talk to him. I think you're very, very active almost daily, right?
Yeah, I might have also written a 30-page document about John.
I saw this, yes. I thought about talking to you that we could maybe incorporate it onto the website. Maybe we should talk about this.
Yeah, for sure we can talk about that.
If you're interested.
So yeah, I'm in air brackets quite active.
Yeah. I saw it, yeah.
And quite means a lot.
So, yeah, when will the next etc. tournament happen?
So we are recording this on the 2nd of November, and that's basically 3.5 weeks to go now.
Okay, so on the...
So 28th of November.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So for anybody in this area who hasn't made up their mind yet, come to Freising, play really great Proxy Legacy, enjoy a cold beverage of your choice, and
Beer.
smash those Ragavans.
We can also provide hot beverages now because we now know how to operate the coffee machine.
So there is something like Yagate in the near future.
Or
We can try.
Let's make it happen.
I mean, Christmas time is around, so Glühwein would probably... how do you... That is an English word for Glühwein.
Glowing.
Nah, it's hot punch or I'm not sure.
Whatever.
It's like red wine, but warm.
With spices.
With
Spiced
spices.
wine.
Spiced wine.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the next topic is for all our listeners, we are starting our own personal Discord server where you can get in touch with us. And the biggest news about this is it isn't behind a paywall. It's for everyone who wants to get in touch, and you don't need to be a Patreon. Sure, we are working on some Patreon benefits, but the Discord is for everyone. We don't like to exclude someone.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And
This is also for our next episode. We want to make...
we want to make a mailbag episode to answer all your questions, and maybe we get some of them, and we can make a whole episode about it. That would be great.
At least according to plan.
Yeah.
According to plan, maybe it won't work out, but then we will have plan B.
Yeah, and plan B is to talk about our naked photo shooting together with Gino. But yeah. So if you don't want to watch this or hear this, send in your questions.
Maybe we should make
We should make both. I'm in.
something like there's a thing that it's called the Jungbauernkalender.
Yeah.
Where
The
also
young magic calendar, I think so. Magician.
the young magic player calendar.
For our listeners that aren't from
German-speaking
Austria
countries.
or German-speaking countries. The Jungborn calendar is just a calendar with, sexy young farmers and female farmers. So it's quite the joy to watch.
But maybe not if we are using Magic players.
But it's definitely not better
Especially
than
not
the,
us.
than the Karpfen calendar, yeah.
Okay. I think
We should talk
We're
enough
too
now.
much shit talk, yeah.
I think this kind of wraps it up for this episode.
Yeah, Benedikt, it was great fun to have
Yep.
you on. It was a pleasure to meet you, and we will be looking forward to see you again in Freising.
Or also on the Mirage.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was really fun, as you said.
Anything that you want to address before we end the episode?
I don't think I have to add anything.
Okay.
So where can our listeners find you, Benedikt?
So probably best is on Twitter. That's at Gruber_Benedikt. Also on Discord, mid-range, hint.
Very good, this good.
If you really want to get in touch with me, like Julian has my contacts. So at it's Julian23. Also on I'm streaming occasionally on Twitch. Haven't been that active in the last, let's say, 2 months, but I want to get back to it, and that's Twitch TV /it's Sanitoeter.
Which will be in the show notes.
Yeah, definitely. And so, Peter, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter. It's at UnicornLord, but the O in the Lord is a 0. Where can we find you, Daniel?
As always, also on Twitter, it is at Flying Delver, on the mid-range server, on the Discord, on the website greatness@anycost.com, and yeah, that's about it, mostly. And where can we find you, Philip?
As always, you can find me on Twitter. It's at PhinikMTG, PhinikMTG. And also follow us on Twitter on Austrian_Legacy. And most importantly, follow this podcast on Twitter at Response_Legacy.
You can find the podcast also on Instagram,
Oh yeah, that's true.
which I'm not on, but the
You
podcast.
will.
I will. No, I won't. But
Fuck you, Peter.
I think with that,
We wrap it up.
in response, the end.
This was In Response, a Legacy podcast. If you enjoyed the ride, feel free to support the show by following, leaving a review, or subscribe on patreon.com/response_legacy.